Danny Ric is back, and whether you think he's past it or not, the Honey Badger will be racing around the hungaroring. Not only that, but he has his sights set on that elusive second Red Bull seat. Well, it looks like Ricciardo may already have the support he needs, with Max Verstappen having a rather interesting view on the reappointment to the Honey Badger. And yep, you guessed it, it's not good for Perez. Want to know what Max said and what Sergio Perez has to say about all of this? He is not happy. And hang around until the end, as it looks like the speculation around the cost cap breach has all been a lie. Let's just say that if you told us at the beginning of the season that we would see Daniel Ricciardo racing around the track at the Hungarian Grand Prix, we would have told you to jog on, but how wrong we were. The return of the much-loved Honey Badger has divided the F1 world, with many fans unsure of how to react. Should they be happy for Ricciardo or sad for De Vries? At the end of the day, F1 is a tough gig, and not all drivers are made out for it. I mean, look at Latifi. The man is looking to return to the paddock, but not in the cockpit of a car. De Vries won't be the first, nor the last F1 driver to feel the wrath of Red Bull and their drive for excellence. With even Lewis Hamilton having a dig at Red Bull, but what would you expect from the Mercedes man? Asked if only being given 10 races to prove himself was unfair on De Vries, Hamilton responded, "Yep." Following a long pause, he added, "That's how Red Bull do it." When it was suggested that De Vries' sacking was how it goes in F1, Hamilton fired another dig at Red Bull. I'd say that's how Red Bull works. Now, this does not mean that Ricciardo won't fall foul of Red Bull's high standards. I mean, his McLaren stint was less than impressive, but the former Red Bull driver only has one thing on his mind, and that is the Red Bull seat. The dream is a Red Bull seat, but there's no, this is what you need to do to achieve that. Given what has happened over the past few years and taking time off, I knew it would be hard to get back in at the top. Of course, that was my wish, but you need to be realistic, and if I want to get back into Red Bull, it will be a process, and this is the best path for me at the moment, said Ricciardo. I mean, who doesn't want to race in the RB19? That car is a dream and a rocket ship. I bet you most drivers would take Sergio Perez's place, even if they wouldn't admit it. The real big question, however, is can Ricciardo really replace Sergio Perez? I mean, you would think that the Mexican is safe until at least 2024. Or is he? Sky Sports F1 pundit Martin Brundle raised eyebrows with his remarks, hinting that Ricciardo might have additional plans in place if he impresses while racing for the Italian team. The move to AlphaTauri has sparked rumors among pundits that it could be a strategic move for Ricciardo to eventually reunite with his former team and teammate, Max Verstappen at Red Bull. Brundle further added fuel to the fire, suggesting that Ricciardo may have agreed to the AlphaTauri deal with the understanding that it could lead to an exciting prospect in the future. Strategic or not, Perez's recent form has been called a sackable offense by Alguersuari. The former Toro Rosso driver believes that Red Bull has the right to consider replacing Perez if his performance doesn't improve, emphasizing that many drivers on the grid could perform closer to Verstappen. It's not acceptable that Perez is always half a second or 7/10 slower. If your teammate is winning all the races, you have to at least be on the podium, not on your best day being on the podium. You have to be closer, otherwise they have the right to replace you. There are many other drivers on the grid that could definitely be much closer to Max, says the Spaniard. As much as we love pundits, they are not always the most reliable sources, and when they say something is going to happen, then you normally have to take it with a pinch of salt, as many of you have let us know about Ted Kravitz. It's always good to have your fellow drivers back in F1. Well, sort of maybe off track, but certainly not on it. I mean, Max and Sergio Perez have had their fair share of run-ins this season, with both drivers being at fault for some mistake or another, but it sounds like Max is more than happy for his teammate to do one and for Ricciardo to replace him. For his part, Verstappen is also happy about the return of Daniel Ricciardo, with whom he is also friends. The 43-time race winner does not even rule out the Australian becoming his teammate again one day. I never actually wanted him to leave. All of these things, we know that we get on very well. If Daniel does well where he is now, then of course, you have the opportunity to go back up, right? So it's all open, to be honest, said Verstappen. Oh, Max, never one to mince his words. The Dutchman is clearly excited to have one of his old teammates in and around the paddock. Let's be honest, Daniel does look like a lot of fun in and around the paddock, but being fun and goofy is only good if you're delivering on the track, with many ifs and buts attached to Daniel's return as an AlphaTauri driver. So, does Daniel really have a chance of returning to Red Bull in 2024? Well, not according to Christian Horner. At the moment, there's only something in place until the end of the season, Horner told the F1 Nation podcast. So there's no thoughts or expectations beyond that. We've loaned him to AlphaTauri to the end of the year. Obviously, our drivers are going to be Max and Checo again next year, but it's always good to have talent in reserve. I think that Daniel is viewing AlphaTauri that he firmly wants to be pitching for that 2025 Red Bull seat. That's his golden objective, and by going to AlphaTauri, I think he sees that as his best route to stating his case for 2025, Horner again told the F1 Nation podcast. If you're thinking what we're thinking, then as much as we want to believe Horner, we can't help but think to ourselves, if Daniel Ricciardo cooks in the AT04 and outperforms Yuki, even getting a couple of points-placed finishes, then a betting man would surely have his money being on Daniel being in the Red Bull car sooner rather than later. Red Bull's dominance won't last forever, and if other teams do catch up to them next season, then in order to win the coveted Constructors' Championship, which actually means more to the teams than the Drivers' Championship as it's where the money is, then they will need two competitive drivers. Let's be honest, as much as we like Checo, he hasn't performed well since the pressure got put on him. With Perez's contract up in 2024 and the noise around the return of the prodigal son, Perez was asked about Ricciardo's return and the added pressure that it may bring. It doesn't change anything. I drive for Red Bull, and Red Bull can basically get 98% of the grid. It's not just Daniel, but also Yuki. There are many other drivers out there, so I have to focus on myself and deliver my maximum, Perez told Viaplay. In a separate interview, the Mexican also said that he was happy for Daniel and reiterated that it doesn't change anything on his side. And on the other hand, I'm also happy for Daniel. I think he is very motivated to be back, so well done to him. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for him. From my side, it doesn't change anything. I drive for Red Bull. There's not just Daniel, there's Yuki, and there is more than half the grid who will love to drive for Red Bull, so it doesn't change anything, Perez said. With the potential for two new teams to come into F1, could we possibly see the Mexican driver go to one of these teams? We will have to wait and see, as right now Sergio Perez's future is in the balance, and the place that he's feeling the most pressure from is internally to perform. If you were Red Bull, what would you do? Let us know in the comments below. One thing that's been blowing up in the media is the alleged breaches of the budget cap, with AMUS reporting not one, but 3 teams have breached the budget cap. It then turned into only 2 teams have breached the budget cap. With all the confusion going on, it's important to clear it all up, with the FIA, according to Craig Slater, having this to say. They were quite adamant in their response to me. They have said that the reports are factually wrong. They said that the auditing process is still ongoing with regards to the cost cap, and it's scheduled to conclude in the coming weeks, after which there could be a period required for assessment and finalization of the review. Also, talk of potential breaches at this stage is unfounded, said Craig. Even Crofty has come out to say that the reports are all fake, but interestingly enough, Hamilton has come out to say that he sees teams continuing to cheat if they don't clamp down on it. Ahead of this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix, Hamilton was asked if he felt concerned that teams could be breaching the cap based on the light punishment. Yes, it's definitely a concern. I mean, it wasn't really a big punishment last time, so there's no real deterrent. There will be people that are probably going to go for it again and know that they're just going to get slapped on the wrist. It's not my job to decide what the punishment should be, but we have people in place who are supposed to police that. But it doesn't surprise me because it was not a big penalty before, said the 7-time champion to Sky. Let's play a little game. We want to monitor your opinion. If there has been a budget cap breach, then who's breached it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.